Folks, in one of my videos, I referenced Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuchadnezzar 1. An interestingly funny thing about Nebuchadnezzar 1 coming 600 plus years before one of the next Nebuchadnezzars. Traditional biblical theologian and biblical archaeology places Daniel with the second Nebuchadnezzar, not with the first. And there's 600 and something years difference between the two. Oddly, when you get into your pagan theological studies, there's a debate about the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel is said to be written in Aramaic, and is said to be written in a very crude form of Aramaic. Oddly, if Daniel is who he says he is, and he's of this intelligence, and he's of this special training, teaching, and all of this, why do you think the book of Daniel, the original form, is in a crude form of Aramaic? This is something you need to think about, because if it was copied by a scribe, you would think that the scribe could at least copy the Aramaic in the form it was written. Here's where I'm going with this. By the time of Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled in Babylon at the same time Tiglath-Pileser ruled in Syria, Aramaic was a fully developed language and being used nationally in Babylon. It was a fully developed language. Meanwhile, the oldest form of Daniel is a rudimentary form of Aramaic. Even if it was copied, it could have been copied the way it was written, in a good form. Here's the funny thing. When we go back and look at Nebuchadnezzar 1, remember Nebuchadnezzar 1 brought back a golden statue of the God of the throne, had forced his people to worship it. Also, during the time of Nebuchadnezzar 1 actually formed learning institutions very similar to what we use for universities today. He brought all the young people from the lands he conquered and trained them and gave them special privileges and teaching, exactly like it says in the book of Daniel. He took men with promise and taught them. He also, as we referred in the other, had the people worship a golden image that represented the throne head. The throne head. But during the time of Nebuchadnezzar 1, Aramaic as a language was in its rudimentary development. It was just developing. So if you wrote Daniel 600 years earlier than common conventional theology tells us, it would appear to be crude and rudimentary, when in actuality it was the best Aramaic of the day. When we get the text properly timelined, the unique thing is, if Daniel is older than we once believed, it makes the prophecies of Daniel that much more powerful, because he actually prophesies, makes reference to the Roman Empire, the Persian Empire, empires to come. And it's worth considering for you to go back and read your Bible. Read and study your Nebuchadnezzars. Read and study them as if they may not be the Nebuchadnezzars mentioned in the commentary. Read it as if it's talking about, one author's talking about one Nebuchadnezzar, and one's talking about another Nebuchadnezzar, because there are 5 Nebuchadnezzars. There are 4, at least, Tiglath-Pilesers, kings of Assyria. And they're paired at 2 different instances in history. We have a Tiglath-Pileser in Assyria and a Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. At 2 different instances in history, almost 600 years apart. And to simple theologians, they would be misled. Or could be. Or do they have it right? Go to your Bible, check it out. Go to our website, SolomonSeries.com, and we'll flesh some of this out. We'll share it with you. And we're going to show you some other stuff. You know, the simple stuff, like how to find Solomon's temple, how to recognize it, how to understand the construction style. We also, some little simple stuff that we give away, little things like the Great Pyramid. We solve how it was built and why. We answer all your questions there. Go ahead and send us your questions. We'll be glad to address them. And we may even address them in video form. We thank you for Maria for sending in the questions and asking for us to address this for you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.